Most of you can agree with me that there was an exodus of people going to foreign countries coming from Zimbabwe, some coming from their African countries going into Europe because of push factors. I'm from Zimbabwe, so I'll talk about Zimbabwe. Around 2008, 2009, around that time, I think 2008, we had a crisis where we had a shortage of basic commodities in Zimbabwe. And this was really troublesome. It was really a pandemic. It was really a problem. You could be having the money, but there was nowhere to get the goods. And that ended up pushing people to go to neighboring South Africa. I told myself that I will never go to South Africa. I told myself I'll remain in Zimbabwe and fight for the freedom of economic hardships. I'll fight for the family whilst in Zimbabwe. That's what I told myself by that time, because prior to that, there were a lot of Zimbabweans who were deported from South Africa. And I know of one good friend of mine who was part of those people who were deported, and only what he brought was just 2 kgs of beans. It was just a packet, a paper bag of goods from all the time he was in South Africa. So literally we can say he brought nothing from his sweat in South Africa, because he was deported and unplanned. When he didn't plan anything, but he was simply told to get into that kumba and taken to Zimbabwe. So he had seen the trauma that had come with that. So I told myself I'll never go to South Africa. I'll love my country, do whatever it takes for us to come out of the economic hardships that we're in. But 2009, it got even worse. Early 2009, that I decided with a friend of mine to say we want to go to South Africa and try and make ends meet, because I was doing embroidery at that time. So we arranged that we would go to South Africa. What pushed us was not for us to relocate, to say we are going to move to South Africa to go and stay there. It was going to be a temporary move to go into a foreign country to just work. After working, we go back home. After working, we save what we have saved. We go and establish something in Zimbabwe. That was the initial mindset. That was the initial plan. So we came to South Africa as workers, as people were seeking for greener pastures. We didn't know where we were going to be working, but we had faith that something is going to come up in South Africa, because we had a skill that we feel was relevant in South Africa at that time. There were no embroiders, filling embroiders. So our market was also those Zimbabwean ladies who were coming from Zim with chair backs, seat covers, bedspreads. So we said if we position ourselves in South Africa, there's no need for this lady to carry with them those seat covers from Zimbabwe. They will just buy from us. They'll come with their orders. We design whatever they want so they can get their stock from us in Joburg. If they're going to Cape Town, come from Zimbabwe, get to Joburg, they get their stuff, they go to Cape Town, Eastern Cape, Durban, wherever they might. So at that time, we were welcomed in the city of Joburg, because we were providing a scarce skill. We were providing something that did not compete with the people in the land. And it was good for us, and we were earning. And we were saving, because we were telling ourselves that after every 3 months, because we didn't have work permits, we were using those visitors' visas. So we would work, then after 3 months, we go back to Zimbabwe to get other 3 months on the passports. So we were saving, because our goal was we are saving, we are working, we go back home. 2010 came, where there was also another exodus of Zimbabweans coming to South Africa. These Zimbabweans were coming because they started coming actually 2009, late 2008, 2009, and 2010, around January to May, because there were preparations for the World Cup. Stadiums were being built, the Moses Mabhida and Durban, the other stadiums, the roads, infrastructure. So there was need for labor, and foreign nationals provided cheap labor. People from Zimbabwe, and they had no option. We're coming from hunger, we're coming to South Africa. Then there was we're providing cheap labor. So the foreigners were needed, the Zimbabweans were needed, Malawians, they were needed and welcomed. That's when there was the introduction of the ZEP permit that was introduced by that time in 2010, which is also the permit that I got as a work permit that enabled all the foreign nationals at that time to be documented, so that the government would know how many people are in South Africa. In case of crime, in case of whatever it is, the government would be accountable. People, the fingerprints were taken and we got those permits. And all I'm trying to say is that this is the introduction, the foundation of relocation, whereby we are coming from our own countries, feeling the need to see greener pastures because of push factors, which include probably political instability, economic instability. So we become political refugees, economic refugees. And we are thinking when things are okay, we are going to go back home to our land and continue with life. So the initial movement or migration was basically for us to come and work. But along the way, life happened. And most of us, we thought that in no time, the situation, the economic environment in Zimbabwe would get better. But it took longer than we expected. And we were growing up. I remember when I came to South Africa, I was just around 23. And now we're talking about 16 years later. I was a boy, young man, just after school. I was very active, no children. Now I have 3 kids and a wife. I have a family. So when I started working here, things were well, everything was moving well, until the influx or the flooding of undocumented foreign nationals, which now prompted groups like Dudula groups, political parties, the Yemen Mashabas, and they were now prompted to begin to start using the chasing of foreign nationals as a way to score political mileage. And also they were justified because you can't have people who are not documented in your country. What does that mean to the security of the nation? So obviously people have to be documented. If you want to migrate to a country, be documented, pass through the border lines, so that you can be accounted for, so that they can know and plan the resources to say we have 200,000 foreign nationals. So in our healthcare, they're going to be us, and these people that we have, they are also providing tax so that they can receive those services. So the push factors were there. Life happened, and South Africa began to become a home for most of us. It was not just a working place, but it became home. Some married South Africans. Some started opening companies in South Africa. Personally, I actually opened a company which I ran, and I ran my own company. I'm doing my own things. I found a gap whilst I was here and started doing what I'm doing, which I feel is legal and also helping into the economy of South Africa. So South Africa became our home. But as a person who has been away from home for 16 years, earlier this year when I went back home after the death of my young brother, after he was buried, I decided to say I want to go to the rural areas where I was born. And these rural areas, if I still remember, our homestead, we used to stay there around 1990, late 80s. Not late 80s, yeah, mid 80s. That's where my parents were staying in that homestead. And I remember doing my grade 1 around 90, 91, 92. And then later moved to Harare. But after the funeral of my young brother, I was there in that homestead where I could see things that I'd left 32, 33 years ago. The house that had fallen, the 2 huts that were fallen. I could see the bricks moving in in those debris. I could see actually some of the parts of my shoe soles. I could see some clothes that probably used to wear 33 years ago. They could show that there used to be life in this place. And when I was there, I felt a connection with my roots. I felt a strong connection calling me home, to say I need to do something on this land. I need to build something. I need to put infrastructure. I need to build something. And that edge and that push was so powerful that when I came back to Durban, I couldn't find the rest in me. All I could think of was, if I put a hut there, if I build this, if I put my goat, if I put a crow here, I put some cattle, I put some chickens, I couldn't get peace. And when I went on to the internet, I was on YouTube watching videos. I saw a lot of people who have relocated from Australia, South Africa, Botswana, the UK. We have gone to Zimbabwe. And when I listened to their stories, it actually resonated with my story. There were a lot of similarities in their stories. And I felt that I was not alone, was feeling the urge to move, to go back home. A lot of people are feeling the urge. A lot of people are feeling the call. It's actually a call. Sometimes you're watching this video until now because in you probably you're saying the title of the video or what this person is talking about. You feel it in you. You feel that you're being pulled to your roots. You're being pulled to say, it's enough. I've worked enough. I need to go back home. So, because the foreign countries where we are, you're constantly reminded that you're a foreigner. Wherever you go, whatever you do, there's a certain time that you're reminded that you're a foreigner. You get to a roadblock, they ask for your driver's license, you give them, and they'll say, oh, Chirume, where is this Chirume from? Then you say Zimbabwe. Oh, okay, all right. How is Zimbabwe? How is Mnangagwa? How is Mugabe? You know, they start reminding you that we know you are from this place, you're not home. And also, the other reason that made me to say I need to go back home was just the thought of, when you look at how the economy of these countries where we are, like South Africa, is different. Things are different from where they were. Things are very different now. You know, right now we're talking of a kg of beef costing 130 rand. When I came here, that could buy half a cow, probably. And now you can only buy a kg. My mind then begins to say also, how much am I paying rent? 5,000 rand every month. That's around $250 on the black market. And $250 at the end of 10 months, that's 2,500. After 12 months, that's how much? We're talking of a lot of money here. And this, I'm just renting. I'm not owning. I'm paying someone's property. And I don't have something that I can call my own. So I just started feeling that when I went home, I could see a vast land. And our own stand, our own homestead, not talking about the farming places where we do our farming. No, just talking about where we were staying. So almost an acre and a half. That's where the house is. That's what we call our garden at home. Not talking about where we do our plowing and stuff. We can see one person owning over a hectare, 2 hectares, 3 hectares of land. But here we are so in a place confined to 300 square meters. And 4 families are staying in that house. There's no place to put a small garden. There's no place to put some chickens. So I started thinking I need to own something. I need also to have a place that I call my own. I think around 2023, I bought a stand. That's around, that's in Domboshawa. I got a stand in Domboshawa. I hadn't done anything on that stand because I was, procrastinating, saying I'll do this. But when this call hit me, right now I left Zim in June and I have just built a small shed. I want to put a car wash there. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this age, this move that's calling us home to say, come back home. If you don't want to go home, try what I did. What did I do? In May, end of May, I said I want to go to Zimbabwe. Go there for 32 days. I wanted to do 30, but I ended up doing 32 days. Why going there? To just see what's on the ground. How are people surviving? How are people making their money? How are people managing? What are the opportunities that are there? So I had to go home there and do my research, take a look at what was on the ground. And in some of the videos that are coming, I'll be telling you my 32 journey in Zimbabwe. Because I landed in Zimbabwe with $200. And I wanted to see if it would take me for 30 days. And indeed, it did take me 30 days. And I managed to come back home and not home. Oh, I still call it home, Durban. Yeah, managed to come back to Durban and start to re-strategize and to think I had to say. So in Zimbabwe, I saw this and this. When I'm going back, my next trip will be in August. I don't know how long I'll be in Zimbabwe in August, but I noticed that I can actually go back and make a life, make a living there, and yeah. So my question to you, as you're part of this channel, is to say, are you happy where you are when you relocated? You're in that place, you're in that country. Are you happy? If you're not happy, what are you doing about it? And also, have you also been hit with this wave to go back home? Whatever African country that you are from, is that wave also hit you? And also, when you relocated, when you moved to that foreign country where you are, did you go there to work, or you just went there to treat it as home? I know people talk about, living in both countries and calling both countries home, which is a good thing. But when you talk of your origin, your identity, there's always one thing that you need to call home. There is home, and there is another home. When we are here in South Africa, we call the president our stepfather, because we know we have our father in Zimbabwe, who is the president, who is our father. So in as much as I enjoy life here, in as much as I am legal and doing things the right way, but I feel there's inner peace that comes when I'm in my own soil, where there is my umbilical cord, where I connected to the roots of the land, to the roots of the place. So if you considered relocating, if you have or considered relocating, what is that you have done on the ground so far? Did you manage to buy the land? If you did buy the land, how did you buy the land? And also, when it comes to getting land in Zimbabwe, I also talked about this in my Shona channel. I think I'll talk about this in my other video on this English channel. There are mainly 3 ways of getting land in Zimbabwe. Number 1, which is to go to your subbook or your crowhead to give you land. Every person's ID has got a number at the end: 6325 for Goromonzi, 27 for Gutu, 07 Buera. Wherever you are from, there's a number that tells people where you originate from. So if you go there in your own place, in your own land, your forefathers were there, your fathers were there, your grandparents were there. They can give you a piece of land to say, oh, this is our land that belongs to us. We're given by this crowhead, and the chief also gave us this land. So they can give you a portion to start working on. And this is the cheapest way of getting land in Zimbabwe. And this is communal land, which they say it belongs to the president. There are no title deeds, but our forefathers have been staying there for over 100 years, for hundreds of years, in fact, because our fathers have been sending this same place. So that's the easiest way to get land and the cheapest way to get land in Zimbabwe. The second is to also go, not your own communal land, not your own rural area, but to go to another closest rural area. Go and see the crowhead in that area. Or go and find people who have got a bigger land which they are not utilizing, who, in other words, will be selling their stands. So they will tell you, I'm selling this 600 square meter stand. I need this 2,000, 3,000 rand, 3,000 US. You agree. Then after that, you go to the crowhead. The crowhead will say, oh, you want to get this land. You don't use the word sell. There's the use of the word give. So we have agreed that I get this land and I'm going to thank this person. So the crowhead will come and see the land, take measurements, then he puts you in the book. So when you are in his book, you are sure that you are known in the area. The book is called the subbook or a subbook. So in that book, you know you are safe. So then you have to go to the village head, Ishe. You also thank him with a goat or a cow. This is the one cow or a money equivalent, $200-300 US. Then you go to the big man, the authority of the land, the chief. You also go there with a cow or 2. These days probably 2-3 cows or equivalent cash, so that they know you are in their land. They've welcomed you. You now belong there in their land. Then is what they are saying, like in Dombosha and other closed areas, they're saying they will be introducing urbanization soon, which means also through that process, every month you are paying money that goes to the council. Like for Dombosha, it's Koromonzo Road District Council. You are paying that man to show that you are there. So when urbanization takes place, you will be allocated stands And in the future, probably they're just going to be giving numbers and allocate equal stands. The urbanization will take place. It might not be now, not 5-10 years, but it's coming. And that will definitely happen. Like, that was the same process in Epworth. That's the second way of you getting land or a stand. Then number 3, you go to land. Is it land brokers? People like Real Property, Just Properties, and others who sell stands. They advertise on Facebook. You approach them. They've got land they are selling on behalf of whoever is selling that land. And these people are usually found around the CBDs in Harare, where you don't think they are stands. They are actually stands there somewhere, somehow. So you go to these land brokers or barons, then they sell your stand. These stands, you definitely have title deeds. So you know, I own this piece of land. The government knows. But the stands are very, very expensive. When I say expensive, I'm talking of 7,500, maybe a minimum, to get a 300 square meter stand. Some 500 square meters. Some stands going to for $500 per square meter. $50 per square meter. Sorry, $50, $75 per square meter, depending on the location, you know. So those are some of the things that I thought I should just share in this second video on this channel, to say you can get land. Then when you have got the land now, you begin to think of investing. Like what I did in May, I had to put one leg in Zimbabwe, one leg remained in South Africa. Why was I doing that? I'm testing the waters. I'm doing my chickens in Zimbabwe whilst I'm still staying in South Africa. My family is in South Africa. I'll do from a small scale, continue to do on a large scale, depending on the profit that I'll be earning and the nature of the growth of the business. So I want to urge you, Africans, I want to urge you, Zimbabweans, South Africans living abroad, that there is a call that's calling us home to our roots, where we belong. And we are the ones who can only build our continent. We are the ones who can only build our nation. And we need to take the positive steps. I know there are a lot of negativity and a lot of shortfalls, a lot of things that we expect from the government to do, or that we are expecting that when the country is at this stage, maybe I'll go. I'll be talking about some of those things that I encountered when I went to Zimbabwe. Some of the things that I feel people are running away from. People feel they need to be sorted out before there's a movement to Zimbabwe, they relocate to Zimbabwe. I'll be sharing that also on this platform. But I want to thank you so much for listening up until now. I have a lot to share, guys. I have a lot of share. I've done more than 20 videos on my Shona channel. You can watch that. If you understand Shona, I'll put the description in the comment section. But I also try to interpret some of the videos and post the videos here so that you get the sense of what's happening. The sense, and this is my journey that I'm sharing with you, that I've been in South Africa for 16 years and I want to go back home. And I want showing you my stand, showing you what I built for my mother. A 5-room cottage that I built for my mother. I did a video on my Shona channel. It's actually there. But I want to do it so that you understand how I managed to do that, the steps I took, how I managed to save the money. All those things that I feel, if you resonate with, if my story is similar to what you're going through, you can get encouragement. You can also get advice. And I appreciate it if in the comment section you can send your comments, your views, your suggestions. As I'll be going back to Zimbabwe in August, I would need to actually look into some of the things that you need to know so that this channel will be of help to you. And Zimbabwe is where I come from, and I'm going to be building my dream home in Zimbabwe. The journey has started and it's going to continue. But I will not only be in Zimbabwe. I want to visit other countries, visit other African countries to see how they are living. Even here in Durban, in South Africa, I feel that there are a lot of videos that I have to do to show you places of interest. People like Shaka's Crow, Shaka's Grave, where we used to see these things, read these things in our history lessons. But I've been here seeing these things and people don't treasure them, especially the locals. They don't treasure the place like we do. When I was told Shaka's Grave is here, it's actually in the CBD. There's a fence, there's a small museum. Then I'm like, Shaka's Grave. I stayed in there 2-3 years and I never went there. The day I decided, I need to pay a visit. I was asking others, do you know that's Shaka's Grave? Someone said, who is Shaka? Oh, Shaka Zulu. Oh, the locals, some of them are ignorant of that information. So I want to be sharing with you that information. And my name is Godwin Chirume. And this is my journey. I'm going to share it as raw as it comes. To meet again in my next video. Be blessed. Peace.